but I want to show you how easy this is. So you actually just cut for the deal. You pick the card that you want to put into your crib. And then you play the hand out. And I'm just trying to get through this. We'll talk about stuff in a minute, but I want to show you something here. So once you're done, it actually counts everything for you. It tells who to play, when. And then this is the really interesting part here. You can hit this explain right here. And now my mouse started to freeze. That's what I was worried about. So if you hit explain there, not going to do it. It actually dynamically shows you how those points came up, what the combinations were, and what points you have for it. So now my mouse froze. Give me just a second.
Playing games with high-tech toys.
Yeah, it works really good until I start doing it through here. But I thought maybe I could just jump in and show you something. Once it gets to this part, it kind of freezes through the Zoom.
In the late 90s, Yahoo Games had a great cribbage thing that you could just play with anyone around the world, and did this similar, very similar to this, probably slightly less graphics than that. But I mean, it was, you know, your basic playing cards and stuff. I played like thousands and thousands of games on that one.
Yeah, I've been playing this all week, just kind of brushing up on things and stuff too. This thing down at the bottom here where it says optimal discard score, that also is actually kind of interesting, especially for mathematicians. But again, I'm okay, everything's still running, but my mouse is froze, so I don't want to mess up the whole Zoom meeting. But if you click on that, it actually goes through every hand you've played for the last, like this game, or for the last 10 games, 10 hands or something, and gives you a score of like the optimal points you could have had, and whether you did it, like obviously I discarded badly according to them. So, but that's kind of interesting. It's a little bit really statistician based.
Oh yeah, that'd be pretty
deep. Yeah, it's pretty deep in there. But the explain thing is actually pretty cool, because it actually kind of goes through each section of the cards that you're using, you know, like this pair and then this pair, and it shows you the actual cards and stuff. So anyway, that's a cool thing to use if you want to up your game. I've been really playing online with quite a few people through that, and it's pretty challenging sometimes. So welcome, Adrian.
Sorry, I was on mute. Hi.
Oh, that's okay. I just noticed that you were here. So I'm sharing an app right now through the screen. I don't know if you can see it, but it's cardgames.app/cribbage. And it's a free online card game place. And cribbage is one of them. This is a really good tool if you're trying to learn cribbage itself. Okay. And Adrian, can you tell me just a little bit about how do you play?
I do. I was working away from home for a while under contract, and woke up. Some old guys were playing cribbage, and they said, "How do you play this game?" And they said, "Well, Any point. You'll learn as you go along.
For sure.
That's how I learned
Okay.
poker.
Great. Yep. Yes. Okay, so I just thought then, since all of us play a little bit and we're just kind of learning or whatever, maybe we'll just play a virtual game with me here, and we'll talk just both. I'll put all the cards up and we'll talk about what cards would you choose? Why would you choose that? Why would you do this? What would you leave? That sort of thing. Does that sound okay?
I was just wondering, do you have information on whether this is period or not?
Yes. So originally, it's a game called Noddy, Noddy, and it originated, they think, somewhere in Tudor England, late Tudor Elizabethan era. It had the original board just like this, but it didn't have the thing called the cribbage, part of the cribbage. And then very late 16th century, a man called Sir John Suckling, he was quite a con artist, and all the aristocracy of England kind of were playing with the board and playing with cards. And he developed his own marked set of cards and added this extra part of the crib part into the game. And they started playing it for money. And he's estimated to have taken the equivalent of about $4 million from the aristocracy, traveling around England with his marked cards and teaching his game. So,
My new hero.
Period, yeah, just at the very end of period. But when it, and prior, the naughty part of it is without the cribbage. So it is mostly just chance and how you play the card, the card laying part. The crib part was where it brought in a little bit more strategy, and that's where they think it just kind of ups the game a little bit. And it's actually still the only game that you can bet money on and play in pubs in England for money to this day. So apparently in Lancashire, they still play the original Noddy. The original board, it has, this one that I have shown here is a 60 peg board. And so you go up and down twice for the 120 points. But when it was Noddy, you had 3 cards in your hand, and you only counted to 21 points most of the time, and you only went to 61 points here. So it was a little bit quicker of a game. Does that answer your question? There is an attachment for there's an attachment for the class that should have the paper that I have and there's a link and 2 pages of information on that I couldn't write any better, so I just basically stole it from the internet from somebody who had done all the research, but it's pretty interesting.
Okay.
Is Sir Kelvin there? Can you hear me, Kelvin? I don't know if she can hear me. So there you are. Kelvin, can you?
Yes, I can hear you.
Can you stop the screen sharing?
You should be able to. You should be able to if you go up. So if you go up to the very top, there's a little green button. That's where you stop your. But I will stop it. Oh,
yeah, my mouse is frozen.
There you go.
Thank you. As soon as I went into that screen, the mouse froze.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. So I was just thinking that we could try to do this. I thought it might be easier with the interactive thing, but I like the handout, but could you tell me later by text how you, what does that say? I can't pull up my chat button, so I'll have to have you say that to me.
What are you asking me to say? So
I'm sorry, whatever the last, if somebody's chatting to me, I'm not going to be able to see it because my screen is, like, I can see on one screen, but my mouse is completely frozen on the other screen, so I can't do anything interactively.
so I would suggest you let everybody know that if they want to make comments or ask questions, to go ahead and just do it and not use the chat pod.
Yes.
Or I
So
can
what was
monitor
that?
the chat pod.
What was the last thing that was just said?
How
on the
I
chat?
learn most of my games, laugh out loud, wow.
Okay, I thought somebody had asked a question. Sorry, thank you. Okay, so who wants to play? Gulliver? You want to play this hand?
No, thank you.
No, thank you. Phil?
It's
Sure.
been a decade since I played.
Okay. So,
I'll play.
okay. You're on the hope side, Phil.
I'm on what?
You're on this hope side.
Okay.
So what would you throw into my crib?
I can't see the
We should
cards.
cut for the deal, but huh?
I can't see the cards.
The card
Can't see them.
have gone away.
So
I don't think so.
Phil, it may be that her screen she has multiple screens, so it may
Oh,
be
there
that.
it is. There. I just had to scroll over.
So what you can do is you can go up to the top of that screen, and there's the little 3 dots. If you click on that, you can pin the specific screens. I guess I can't pin my own screen. Oh wait, it's not letting you. Is it letting you do that? Can you pin that screen?
Can
No.
I?
Elliot, let me do it.
Huh.
And
Oh.
now there's something strange.
So you should be able to pin. I don't know why mine's not letting me pin right now, but you may have to be in full screen to make it work.
So can you see them now, though, Phil? Or not? Too far away?
Okay. Yeah, I can see. Which ones are mine?
The one
I got a
with the
7.
little.
The one with the king of
Is
spades.
that too far away?
Yeah, I'm on my phone, so it's a really tiny little cards.
What about that?
I got. Well, you're cutting off some of the cards. I got a 9.
Got a 9, 2 7s, a 6, a king, and a 4.
I'd probably toss the. Is it my crib or yours?
Mine.
I'd toss the king and the 4.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Agree.
Yep. Okay. Now, this is mine.
Wow.
Oh, you and your
I'll
shit
take that
house.
toss the 2s.
Are you asking for
Pair of
suggestions?
Yep, I'm asking for opinions.
The
Pair
2s.
of twos.
Yeah.
I like
A
2s.
pair of 2.
Pair of 2s in my crib. I like that. It's your crib, so yeah.
Well, so here's my thought on this one.
Okay.
8 and 5 and 2 make 15.
Mm-hmm. 15-2, 15-4, and then nothing.
So 15-2, 15-4, and 2 or 6 is the
Mhm.
same, right? But you also have all those hearts, right? This is not working.
Okay. Hearts. That's a diamond too.
15-4.
There's 4 hearts there. So if you
Oh.
do, right, I might be inclined to push the jack and the king and the queen into the crib, but
Since
if
yours.
I push the 2s in there, I get 4 extra points just because I have flush too. So that probably is the best choice. Problem is the 8 is kind of useless other than part of the flush when you make that choice. So, all right, now, five turned up. So, hindsight, that was a great choice, right?
Uh-huh.
All right, is this going to make you guys sick if I'm holding this like this? I don't know how to do this so we can see.
Wow.
You can stop sharing while I try to figure out how to make it closer.
You had it at a good range earlier.
Except for people on the phone, right? This one, you mean?
Yeah. Yeah, that people on the phone, it's going to be awkward anyway because of the way
Okay.
Zoom works.
That's the only place I can put it where you can see all of it and it stops moving. So, all right, Till, you have a 6, a 7, and a 9. What would you lead?
Ooh.
Let's see. I got a. I guess I'd. What do I have?
You have a 6, a 9, and 2 7s.
I'd probably lead with a 7. So what I'm
Okay.
thinking is I would fish to see if you had a 7, if you know, because then you would like probably play that. But of course you could have an 8.
But then you'd
But
reply with a 9 for a run.
Yeah.
Or a 6.
I play the 6 for a run because the 9 would put you at
Well, playing the 7 is the right choice, especially if you have a pair, because you can always try to get into the 6, the triple, and for 6 points. But it also, in this case, you can take a run either direction depending on what you want to do. So
Right.
Playing the 7, right? And I would 15 for 2. So now your choice is either the 6 or the 9.
So you play the 9 because 6 would put you at 21, which is a bad number to set at.
Yep. For 3. And what is that? 15, 26. 31 for 2. All right. 15 and 9, 24. No, 29. But that's a go for 1. Okay. Now you have a 6 or a 7. And I played an 8 and a 5.
Yeah, I'd probably play the 7 again.
Yep. 17. 23 is a go. And I get a go. Okay, so probably playing a game isn't going to work very well, but we can keep trying if you want. let's talk about counting points. So, is there anybody who doesn't know how to count out the points on the hand?
Oh, there we go. I was able to blow my screen up.
Okay. Does everybody know how to count the points on the hands, Gulliver?
Mm-hmm.
You do? Okay.
I'm
You're
good.
good counting?
There are a couple of extra versions. Do you accept the some places they count if the jack turned up, there's an extra points when you cut for the fifth card?
Yes. So it's 2 points if you turn a jack on the cut, and it's 1 point for having the right jack in your card that matches the suit.
That's how I was taught.
Yep. So, how many points do you have, Phil?
Let's see. I've got 15-2, and double run is 8. So I think I just have 10.
Yep.
No. Yeah. That's right.
Excuse me.
Okay. And then I have 15-2, 15-4, 15-6, 15-8, a pair for 10, and 4 more for 14.
That's a flush.
Mm-hmm. So if it's in just your regular hand, you need all 4. And if it's in the crib, it has to be all 5. Anybody have questions on that one? Phil?
No, I'm good.
Okay. Let's go back to this crib. That looks like 15-2 and a pair for 4. So my pair was a good thing to throw in there.
Because it gave you 2 more points, or what?
Well, that and yeah, because it was almost the only points in there. Because you were mean. Okay, so one of the other things to remember always, especially, so there's a version of this called mugging. And what that means is if your opponent catches you missing points that you didn't count, they get your points instead. So that's not very
That
fun
can
to
be
play.
beneficial.
It keeps you on your toes. I'm sorry?
That can be beneficial if your person you're playing with is an airhead, like I am. My neighbor used to get points because of that all the time.
All the time. We never played that growing up. So when I play that with people, I forget it, and it's terrible. One of the things you can do when you're doing mugging or any time is you can offer someone to cut. And if they actually cut the cards in the middle of the game, other than the cut for beginning the game, you're never supposed to cut the cards again.
Yeah. My dad used to do that.
Yeah. So if you offer someone to cut and they cut them, you get points for that. So I always just cut them myself because I'm one of those superstitious people. Okay. Bill. All right, what would you do, Till? Your crib down.
I think I'd throw the Jack Queen in.
Anybody else?
No, I agree.
Yeah, 10 pointers.
And it leaves
Yep.
the most potential in the hand.
Well, exactly, especially if it's doing nothing for your hand. Always put something in your crib that might have a benefit there, hopefully. What about mine?
Wow.
3-7.
Oh.
Who said that? 3-7. Okay, so
Or 10-7.
It's his
Well,
crib. It's his crib. If I threw a 3-7 away, I have no points. The pair of threes is the only points in my hand. So that's one thing.
Is it my crib?
Yes.
Yours.
Then you should throw the pair of threes.
The other thing is, yeah. The other thing is you always want to put even cards if you can, because it's really hard to make 15 with even cards. So even cards are always the default, and then again, something far enough away so that you can't do a run, if at all possible. And then the last consideration would be hopefully not of the same suit, just for that potential of the flush thing. So for me, I would probably put the 7-10 in there, because I could get a jack, which gives me a run here, keeping my king and queen. I could get a 2 that gives me a lot more points. I don't like ever giving 7s in cribs. It's one of the cards that my grandma always thought was a dangerous card to do. Okay, jack gets 2 points. And
any jack?
would lead. I get to lead. What would you lead with out of my hand?
Can you scoot your cards to the right? There you go. Thank you. Also, could you reverse the pile so that the 4 is on the bottom, and then the 8, and the 3, and then the 6?
Stop it.
No, it's so that I can, because they're upside down for me. You know what I mean? I mean, I can read them, but it's a little harder. So it just
Like that?
yeah, that's better. It was just the upper number was cut off, and so I'm reading each of the numbers upside down, and it would just.
Oh, I see what you're saying. So it's better if they're like this.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I can read them, it's fine, but it was just like throwing me off a little bit. Now,
I
scoot
thought you were just
your
messing
hand
with me.
over to the right a little bit.
What?
Scoot your hand over. No, your hand. Your hand. Not mine.
Put my. No, you
Scoot
are
your hand-
messing with me.
Scoot your hand to the right.
Your side of the board.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
Okay.
When I have my screen, my picture is covering up cards.
Oh,
I guess I can
Okay.
turn that off somehow, but I don't know.
I don't know. All right. So, of this, would you lead one of the 10 pointers or one of the 3s?
I'd lead with the 3 because I'd be fishing for the other 3, and you know I'd jump on any points. So then you could bait me, and it would work.
Well, that, but also I usually try not to ever. I try not to ever lead with something that you can get a 15 with, if at all possible. So I will always try to lead with something under a 5.
So I'm going to play my 3 for 2, not knowing that you have the.
Play your 3 for 2.
You know, ha ha ha! I got 2, sucker.
And then I get 6. So we're at 9.
I play my 6 for 15. You got 6, right?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're at 9. So you play your 15 for 2 more. Now we're at 25. So you'd have to play your 4. And then you'd go. And then you get another go for 18. Right?
Yep. Did you score your 6?
Yep,
I didn't notice it, so.
I did. All right, so count up your points.
Oh, what's the, I got a jack.
$15
You did?
Oh, that hurts.
Yeah, it's 2 points. That was lucky for me, so I get 5 because I had that pair and 3 more. So, quick thing about the board. We both go up the outside and come down the inside. On this one, twice. And then almost every board you'll see will have notches every 5 to help you with the counting.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then your crib. Someone just mentioned the attachment, and I thought that there was an attachment to the Google Classroom on the Google Doc that Jilliana posted. And if not, I will go on as soon as we're done and upload a Word doc into the event post discussion so that you can have the document that has the attachment. I'm not sure, I don't see an attachment to our meeting here. But I also can't use my mouse right now, so I can't look around. I don't know if Kelwin knows how to do that. So, Sir Till, that was a very nice crib. He's on the phone. He got 8 points. Do you see that, Gulliver? Do you understand the double run thing?
Run through it. I think so, yeah.
Okay.
But
So every time, that's one of the biggest things that you're always looking for when you're first picking out cards is a double run is what they call it. And it's a 1, 2, 3, 10 Jack Queen. So we go 1, 2, 3. Then we take this 10 Jack Queen, 1, 2, 3. That's 4, 5, 6. And then a pair for 8.
Right.
Okay. So most experienced players will say a double run for 8. But that's what that is doing is 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and then 2 more. Okay? So every time you see that, that's like any kind of a thing. And then you'll have a double run of 5, like if this was a 9. that would be 10 because you've got runs of 4, and a pair. Okay? So you got 8 more points. 6, 7, 8. Does anybody have any questions while we're waiting for Phil here? I don't know what he's doing. I see a lot more people have joined us, but I can't screen through. I keep trying to, but my mouse is froze. So if you have questions, I cannot see the chat screen. You'll have to come on to audio for me. And welcome. What we're doing is talking about kind of playing an open hand and discussing points and what you would choose, how you would choose to lead, how you would choose to crib, that sort of thing. My deal. What I'm doing.
Just in case anybody didn't notice, I posted the link to the document for the handout in the chat session, and I also included a link to the attendance sheet. If you want to get credit for Artemisia University, you can fill out that attendance sheet, and then you don't have to go in and fill it out individually later on. And Cecilia, I'll try to figure out how to download that document. If not, I'll just send it to you.
Thank you very much. Turtle, you're back. Yay.
Sorry about that. You can only blow off the
okay.
mic so many phone calls.
You're an important guy. That's fine. Okay, so my crib, your hand here.
I'm gonna. Ooh. What do I got? An 8, a 9, 2 8s, a 9.
There's 2 8s. 2 8.
Oh
Well,
my. Oh, that's a tough one.
There. Is that better?
Yeah, it's good. The 2's off of the screen. There you go. Do I want the jack or the 8?
You would what?
Oh no, I got 2 8s. Yeah, well, so then the jack 2, easy call.
Jack and 2, yeah, because you always want to keep that double run, right?
I like a double run.
We like the double run. Okay, what about for mine?
Is it my crib?
My crib.
Oh,
Oh, I'd throw away 2 of the 9s.
Well,
Don't listen to Till.
that's kind of, yeah.
Never listen to Till. Second rule of Brotherhood Encampment. The king of the 7 is what we would throw away. That's fun because the 9 is the 6. Okay, so, and then we have a queen. So it's your lead, Till. You would probably lead one of the 8s, right? As we've talked about before.
Yeah.
What if you had 2 9s there? Would you lead the 9?
Ooh, that'd be, yeah, I'd probably lead them still.
Usually with that pair, it's a good thing. And you could give away some points by getting sucked into them having the 3rd one, but it's usually a good choice. Yeah. Okay, so the 8, and I would not want to get sucked into a straight.
You don't know.
But I also would go past 15 if at all possible, usually. And with an 8, you often will have a 6 and a 1. So I would, because I'm trying to play like I don't understand what you have, I would do the 9. And you would do the 10 for 3 points. Because there's a straight there.
Yep.
Okay, so where are we at? 1727 is also a go. So you've got another point. Then I would lead with a 9. You'd pair it probably for 18, right? 27 for 6 points. So for Gulliver, 3 cards is 6 points because of that whole round robin thing.
Right.
2, 2, 2. So that's 27 for 3, which is also a go. Jeez. And then you would do 8, and I would get another go. So the last card gets a go. Does anybody have any questions on the play and how we count up to 31 and how those points go? Do you know how that works, Gulliver?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm remembering it.
Anybody else? Okay, good. Again, I can't see your chat screen. I see there's 15 people on there, so, or there's 15 messages. I don't know if there's any more people, but if there's anybody there, if you have questions, ask.
Talking about the
Okay.
university and the handouts and such.
Yeah, there's been no
Okay,
questions
good.
for you. Just for
Okay.
me.
Oh, great. Thank you. So, Till,
Yes.
you have how many points?
Oh, I forgot already. I counted it up earlier. Oh, yeah. No, I just have 8.
Yep, you just got 8. Which is a good hand. It's not a jump.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. The queen does nothing for me, but that's okay. Because I have 15, 2, 15, 2, 15, 4, 15 for 6 points. And then another 6 points for 12. Any questions on that one? Okay. And in my crib, how much is that worth?
Run of 3.
A run of 3. Plus 1 for the right jack.
Mm-hmm.
So I get 4. Okay. Sometimes the choices that you make for your cribbage and for your opponent's crib will change depending on where you are in the game. So you might be willing to take a little bit more risk by throwing a pair away or points, cards that might convert into a run or something earlier in the game because you have more time to make up for that, as opposed to later in the game, especially if it's a really close game. You might think more about cards that are used to peg more or something like that. So some of our choices change depending on how close the game is and where you are on the board sometimes. Okay, Phil?
Hmm.
Oh, your crib.
Who dealt this crap?
That's really ugly.
Is it my my crib?
Yes. So,
I probably,
At least there's that.
when you have nothing, the best thing to do is take the best cards you have and throw them in your crib and hope for something in your crib.
yeah.
There's that.
Maybe a 9-7 in the crib.
That's what I think, because you could probably do the most with that, and you have more chance of something turning up that would work with the other cards. Anybody else have an opinion on that one?
My second thought was King, or first thought was King Jack.
That was my first thought.
Yeah.
Well, either one of those choices is about the same difference, other than
Equally bad.
yeah, they're both equally bad.
I'm glad I'm understanding that.
The 3 and the 1, we've got 7 and 9, don't have as much chance of doing anything for you as does the 3 and the 1 with the Jack and the King. And the 7 and the 9 have more chance of doing lots for you if you had other cards with them. So that would be why I would make this choice, is because these with the right cards can run into 15s like that, like that, like that. You know, an 8, a 6, a combination of other little cards sometimes. But you have more chance of getting some points with this than with that.
Do you?
Because well,
Because you can
what would you
count.
have to get?
Well, let's see. An ace would give you points. 2 would give you points. 3 would give you points.
But only
4 would
the
give you
8
points.
would be the
Yeah, I mean,
8
you're
would be the best one.
points, but
You choose, and we'll see how it goes. You tell me. Your hand.
5 would give you points. 6 would give you points. 7 would give you points. 8 would give you points. 9. I would keep your lower cards because I mean it gives you more cards to give you points. You're only going to get like 2 points with any one of them. You know, an 8 will give you like 5 points.
Right. So you keep
that's
this
about-
and put these in your crib.
Yeah, you're like most likely only going to get if you get a face card, you're kind of screwed though.
Yeah.
On points, but almost.
Possibly. But if you got the wrong face card with the other two, you're still in the same boat.
Right.
So now these are my cards with the choice of yours.
Is it my crib?
Yep.
Throw the aces.
If I throw the aces, obviously, I would not do that.
And I like the 4. The aces and the 4. And what's your other card? It's hidden.
The king. So basically, if it was my crib, I would do this.
Yeah.
But it isn't. So the
But
king
that's
4.
15 points. And that's a really dangerous combination to ever throw in someone's crib.
Yeah.
So, and
The 8,
as
7.
I say, anyone who plays with me thinks he knows that my grandmother reaches out of the ether and smacks me. So that would be one she would say never, ever, ever do. I would probably, especially if we're closer to the end, we're not, we're about midway, I would probably do this.
Mhm.
King 4. Even
Yeah, I like
cards
that.
always. Even cards always as far away from each other as possible numerically. Okay. And I, not knowing what you have, would probably lead with that 1.
Oh, and I'd fall for it.
Let's do that.
Oh, boo.
Would you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then I got 6.
That's just me.
Whoops, I gave you the 2. Give me the 2. And then I got 6. Okay. So we're at 3. Your turn now. What would you do, Till?
I'd throw the 9.
Wow.
9 for 12.
The only problem with that is I've got 2 aces. Logically, I would probably have a 2 and a 3 with this, or some 4s,
I don't think so.
right? Well, normally, under normal circumstances, you wouldn't keep a pair of aces and an 8 and a 7. So, I don't know that I would do that, but okay.
Well, why
So
would
what are
I
we,
mean?
3, 9, 12.
If you throw the 7, you're at a 10, so you might have a 5. I don't like
This is
that.
true.
But if you and I don't like to throw all my low cards at right off the bat, so I'd keep my
No.
3. But that's why I choose the 9.
My only thought was that I would play the 7 instead of the 9, even though there's a chance I would have a 5, because there's a higher chance I would have a 3 with 2 aces than a 5 with 2 aces.
Mhm.
But we're at 15 and I don't, so it's a moot point. So then I usually try to go as high as possible. 23. Back to you. So you have the 7 or the 3.
At 23, I'd throw the 7,
Yep.
hoping you didn't have the next ace.
Yep. And you would get a go, and then another go, because we have no more points.
Yep.
Okay. And that helped a little bit. For 15, 2, 3 or 5, and 2 or 7. Everyone see that one?
What's our turned over card?
A 6. So 15, 2, 4, 5, 6. Wait, 15, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 2 or 7. And
I got 2.
you got nothing.
2.
2. 2 points. Sorry.
Cheat me out of my 2.
2.
Yeah. See how she is? She's like that.
I will try. And 2 more in there.
See, if you give me that
Okay.
ace I wanted.
I know. If you had put the 7, 9 in there, and I had been silly enough to put the 7, 8 in there, that would have been quite the crib for you.
Oh, yeah. How much are
Especially
you
with the
trouncing
6
me by?
turning up. About 15. I'm going back up the outside. My crib. Okay. My crib.
Yuck.
What would you do?
Is that a 9 on the end?
Yes. 9, 10, queen,
My
king,
first
8.
first thing is I would go, oh, I'll just do the 10-9, but then 10-9 could be jump into a run for you. So I'd probably go toss the king 9.
Yep. That's what I would do. Just because of, like you said, you don't want to do these two.
Yeah.
And the
A jack
further
gives-
away is the better.
A jack gives you a few points on either
Yep.
one. That's the only card that'll give you that little extra run
Yep.
on either one. So it wouldn't matter which, if you kept the king or the 10. So keep
Mhm.
those apart.
Well, and that's always trying to keep something that you can draw in a run into a run on is a good thing. So, okay, what about mine? Got a couple of choices here.
Can you move your cards
Could you-
over a little bit? All right. The one on the end is hidden from me. So
Which one? Which end? This one?
not the other end side.
This one?
What is that? Yeah.
That's a 10.
10. Ooh, 5,
So-
6, 7, 8.
But there's 5, 6, 7, 8.
Yeah.
And
well,
10
you
and a 1.
keep 5, 6, 7, 8.
Mhm.
I mean, how could you throw that away?
That's always the best choice because you have a chance of a double run in there with 4 different cards, right? Plus, they're all fairly good cards. The only other option would be, and just a thought, so we keep that and we don't, when we draw into something that doesn't do anything for it,
Yeah.
there's really only 6 points there, right? You could also, and this doesn't do a whole lot, 10-1 doesn't necessarily do a lot for your crib.
Right.
So what you could do is you could do this as well. Okay? Then you're putting 2 points into your crib, 15. But also, you're only 1 point left here. Got 15-2, 15-4, actually 1 point more, and 3 or 7. So I would actually choose this way. Because this gives me more points in my crib. And this, the ace actually does something for me. Okay, Till, you're on the phone again. Which card are you playing?
What card am I playing? I'm gonna lead with the 4.
Did you hear what I said about why I chose the 10-5 instead?
Oh, you chose the 10-5 because it's your crib.
Uh-huh.
That's a nice 2 points in the crib.
Well, it's 2 points in the crib, and it's actually 1 more point in my hand.
Oh, nice.
Because it's 15-2, 15-4, and 3 or 7.
What card did we
Plus
turn over?
I haven't turned over anything yet. A 9.
A 9. So you
Okay.
got your double run.
Well, it would have cost me that double run either way, but I still have 2 points in my crib. And 1 more point this way. So we're going to play those. What card would you choose?
I'd lead with the 4.
Yep.
That's because you just can't score off it except with another 4. So.
Yep. I would always lead with a 4 out of that. And then I would go with my 8. Because I wouldn't want to go with the 7. That gives you a chance with another 4. If I go with the 6, that's really dangerous. Because it gives you, if you had a 5, that gives you a run and a 15. So I would choose the 8. That's 12 points. Then what would you play?
The queen.
22. And I would go 29.
30.
30. 31 for 2.
Where'd that other ace come from? Ah, you cheater.
Yeah.
31 for 2 and a pair.
Those are fighting words.
That's 4 points.
Yeah, so then I had a pair. And then you lead with a 10, 6, so you get it. I get another go. Sorry. All right, count your cards out.
$15-2, $15-4. No more.
Yep,
Oh, what's the? Oh, it's a 9. Yeah.
it's a 9. Count my cards out. Anybody? Got it. 15-2, 15-4, 15-6, and then
15-8.
4 runs. I'm sorry? I don't see a 15-8. Did I miss one?
Okay. No, it's me. Just looking at the numbers.
That's okay. I do it too sometimes.
I thought that was a 9.
Oh, okay. 15-2, 15-4, 15-6, and 4 are 10. And then in the crib,
Ouch.
yeah, 15-2, 15-4, and 2 are 6. Now, if I had put that in there, I'd only have 2. And I would have lost an extra 2 points in my hand.
Nice. Good call.
So, and also really that 5, when you have a 5 in a run like that, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, the 5 is only there as a place marker in the run. The 5 doesn't really add to that run other than 1 point. But a 5 in your crib when somebody else throws in a couple of other 10-pointers or a 10-point shows up, can really make more numbers happen. So 5s in your cribs are always a good thing. Never, if you can ever try to put a 5 in the other person's crib. For the same reason. Okay, kill, deal.
I think you did it backwards.
Did I?
If I'm dealing, you should get the first.
I know. Okay. 1. Look at all those aces. Your crib. That one should be a fairly easy call. What would you do, Phil?
Keep my aces.
And the 2?
And probably the 2. It's my crib?
Your crib.
Yeah.
This one is one of the ones that, if your crib, I hate choices like this. Your crib, my hand is kind of broken into 2 halves. 3 cards go together and 3 cards go together.
Mm-hmm.
So which one do you choose to break up? Going back to Grandma, that's a really dangerous choice to put into somebody else's crib, an 8-6. But keeping a 6 or an 8 with those 3 cards, I mean, maybe the 6 doesn't really do much for you, right? So, I would probably, if it was me, I would choose to do that. I would choose the 8 and the 1.
Ace 8, yeah.
Which, any other thoughts?
That's what I would do. Exactly. Exactly.
Exactly? Okay. And then being my lead, I would probably choose to lead with either the 10 or jacks because I'm always on my lead. When I choose to lead, especially when it's your first card, I should say, out of my hand, I have no idea what you have. My first choice is always going to be under a 5, a 4, a 3, a 2, or a 1, which I don't have a choice of. Then my next choice is going to be something that I can lead into, or something I can lead into that triple thing. So if I have a pair, I'll lead out of my pair. But also, then I will also try to just lead someone into a run if I can. And I think about the cards that I'm playing in terms of what they're going to respond with. So if I played this 6 and you had a 9, I have nothing that does for me. All I would do is give away 2 points. That's a terrible choice for a lead. So I would probably choose one of these, the 10 or the jack, also because I have a 5. Because if I play this 10 and you have another 5, I get a pair out of it at least. So choosing the cards that you lead, not knowing what the other person has, that first choice is kind of important sometimes. I would choose the 10. You would have a choice of a 2 or a 1.
I'm not sure. A 10. Let's go with the 1.
All right, 11. And one thing that Till said earlier, you almost, if you can at all avoid it, try not to land on 21. Because someone else who has a face card can always get 2 points for 31. So going to 11, that forces me to not play this jack at this point, even though I might want to play that. So I would go to 17. Phil?
I play another ace.
18. And at this point, I'm thinking, what the heck do you have? I always try to save a 5 for the second round if you can, if you have it still in your hand, or to try to get to 31.
You can force them into the playing for you to play their 10 to get your 15 right off of it. Yeah.
Yes.
All right, what are we at?
So I go 28, and then you would go 30, and a go would be 31 for 2.
Yeah.
And then I'd have a go with my 5. Okay. I never did do a card. There's my turn card. Or your turn card. So I have 15 too.
What is it? It's all
a
screen for
7.
me.
It is a 7.
7.
So I have 15 2, 15 4,
4,
5, 6, 7.
7, 1, 3.
Okay. And Till cannot get to 15.
I got a 6.
So you have 6. And in your crib,
Ooh, my crib.
you have lots of good cards and only
2 points.
how many points? 2 points.
2 points.
What it?
That's it.
Wait, wasn't that it? See, she hides them.
More than what?
What was my pair in there?
You don't have a
7,
pair.
8.
Oh, I don't have a pair. What do I have?
You have a
15.
7 and an 8 for 15.
Oh, okay.
And a king and a 10 and an ace.
Okay.
Okay.
16 for 2?
And 16 for 8, right?
Yes.
All right, my deal. Okay, Till. My crib.
Yeah.
So
I'll keep my pair of queens, I guess. And a 9-6. Cost you a jack 4.
Ooh. Yeah.
okay, so that's a choice.
That's a choice.
That's a choice.
I could give you the pair of queens.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying you should also do the 6-4 You give up 2 points, but you have a chance for, if 5, either way helps you, but if you got a 10 with that, that'd be the last of the point. What did you say before? You wanted to keep the 4? No. You wanted to keep this.
Yeah, I'll toss the jack.
Is there
That
a
isn't 2
purpose?
more points. You're holding on to 2 more points. You are.
Yeah. There's a chance of getting that, but I mean, it's also, you can end up just, I don't know. End up with 2 points.
Just saying. Okay, what about with mine?
Two seven.
I'm sorry?
Oh, it's your crib. Sorry.
It's my crib.
Pair of 4s.
4, 7. I don't know, 2 or 9.
So
I'd choose the king and the 4.
okay, so
Breaking up
2
a
and
pair
9
with
is
a king and
Or
4.
king and 7, rather. Sorry.
Let's look at the other choices. So
King 7.
still says 2 and 9. That gives us 4 points, right? Because there's 15, 2,
No, I said
and 2 is
that.
4.
Would you throw in the crib? Oh, is it your crib?
2 and a pair is 4. Okay.
My crib.
Yeah.
The other choice was what? The king and the 7, like this?
Get those cards over.
15, 2, 15, 4, pair 6.
This is 6 points, right? Because we've got 15, 2, 15, 4, and 2 are 6. And I think I heard that one. That I don't like that choice. As
No,
much. I kind of like the king 7, throwing the king 7 and keeping that.
What's our
You
4th
could also
card?
get
It's
a
underneath
3.
my picture.
Yep. You also get a 3 that runs into this double run too. So
Well,
that would probably be my pick.
I have rotten luck drawing to inside straights.
I do too.
I just don't try.
Okay. Phil, what would you lead?
Probably queen. Yeah, queen. Definitely queen.
Play out of your pair again.
Yeah.
And since I do not have a 5 or any other way to do anything, I would choose 9. So
Right.
that's 19.
Yes.
Because that makes me go past 15. You would counter with this pairing of the 9, right?
Yeah.
So that's 28 for 2 points. And then I'm going to play a 2 for 30, which is a go.
Yep.
Okay, now you have to lead the queen or the 6 again.
Well, I know it. Not knowing that you don't have the 5, I'll play the queen.
Good choice. 10, 14, 20, 4 is another go. Nope, I didn't turn again. Got an 8 there, which did nothing for you. So you've got your 4 points that you kept. So it's a good thing you kept those 4 points, right?
Yeah.
And that doesn't really do anything for me either with my card. So I've got the same 6 I went into it with 2. 15, 2, 15, 4, and 2 or 6.
Mhm.
Okay. Then let's see what's in here. Looks like 2 more points. Okay. So this board is not obvious where your skunk holes are. Skunk is something where if you beat someone by 1 board length, it's a skunk. If you beat someone by 2 board lengths, it's a double skunk. And I'm only bringing this up not to embarrass Till or anything, but we're close to that.
There's a stack of cards under the thing.
So sometimes you'll see on boards, you'll actually see an S painted on it where the skunk line is, or you'll see like this notch is deeper wherever that point is on the skunk line. But he's coming up the outside and I'm going down the inside. So we'll
There's
see
a whole
what
bunch
happens.
of cards.
If you're
Whole
playing
bunch of cards under the board.
I'm sorry, what?
There are
You did a
cards
bunch
under
of
the
cards
board.
under the board.
Yeah, cheater. It doesn't matter. She's got stacked decks that she's just pulling from off screen. So
You missed some
these
cards.
are
They're
all
under.
pre-planned.
You missed some cards. They're under the board.
Thank you.
One more. There you go.
Just didn't know if that was part of the game.
Yeah, no, these are all
Part of the game.
pre-planned hands that she just has, she pulls off the next shuffles, and then you'll notice that she pulls it off screen and then gets her
I do.
pre-done
I
deck,
just kind
and
of.
then
I have 6 of these decks, and then I just keep, feeding in what I need.
I think I used
So
that
it'll be
excuse
obvious.
in Vegas.
Yeah, it'll be obvious when I get 6 5s in my hand. I actually was playing a game with someone who got dealt 4 5s yesterday. That is the highest hand you can get is 3 5s in your hand and the right jack and a 5 turn up. That is 29 points. And you'll see sometimes boards will actually be shaped like a 29 because that's the highest hand you could possibly get. Okay, Till's deal. So that person was pretty close and it was online chat and they couldn't even control themselves. As soon as they saw it, they were just like, wow. They kind of blew it for me. I kind of knew what they had. Okay. Till, you've got 2 6s, a 9, an 8, a 10, and a 4. Your crib.
ugh. Oh, well, I keep my my little run and a 4. Toss my 6s in.
Toss your 6s into your crib?
Yeah, I think so. Let me look. Because that's 2 15s there.
Yep.
Yeah, I kind of like tossing those in because that is a chance to catch good points in the crib.
I kind of like that choice too because if you're putting a 10-4 into your crib, which is what I would keep an 8 with that then, right? That really doesn't do a whole lot for your crib at all.
Right.
And you've really got to draw into something, but you still have only the 6 points you start with. This way you only have 3 points, but your chance to draw into something is way higher, and you're giving yourself a bigger chance in your crib starting out. So I like the 2 6s call. But any other opinions? That's what you want, Till?
Yeah.
Okay. What about mine?
I'd keep my your little Ron and a king.
And the king?
I don't know. Let's go the
I like-
queen. I don't know, king or queen.
I like the queen better.
It's late in the game. I
But
like to
that's
keep
what-
pegging cards.
Well, pegging cards are always good, especially towards the end of the game.
Yeah.
Always.
I guess I'm having
And-
trouble reading the board. I don't know how close we are.
Oh, okay. So I'm coming back down. This
That's
is
home.
the end of the board. That's home. I'm coming to home. Till is going back up the outside. So I would do that anyway, just because I like this 3, and king 6 is a really benign thing to throw in someone's crib.
It is someone else's.
Even cards as far away from each other is always the best choice. Okay, and back to what we were talking about before. As I lead, I'm going to choose one of these small ones. Now, and so here is, I've got 3 cards to choose from, but always I'm thinking about what you're going to come back at me with, right? So my choice is not going to be the 4 this time because I don't have an ace with it. I'm going to choose the 3 or the 2 because if you only have a 10 point and you come back with a 10 point, I can get to a 15. So think about that next card that you would play with your first lead as well. So I would lead with this 3. Okay. Till. I led with a 3.
Oh.
9.
Yeah, probably 9.
I would, if I was Till, follow with the 8. Because
Yeah.
for the same thing. Because if you put the 8 down, I put a 4 down, you've got a pair coming back. If I put a 3, if you put that down and I have another 3, you have nothing to counter with. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I would, if I were you, I would play this 8. So that goes to 11. And then I would suck into it 15 for 2. But now you've got a pair coming back. 19 for 2 more. Then I'm going to go to 29 and hope for the go, which I would get 31 for 2. And then you've got a 10-9 for another go. Does that make sense? Any questions on any of that?
It does. Where were we when you played the 4 for the pair? That brought it to 19. 19?
So
Okay.
we were at
11.
15. We were at 15 because we
11,
went
15. Yeah.
3, 11, 15, 19.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I was looking for a way. Sometimes I will play a bigger card in the hopes that I can make you use up your little cards so I can get back on, but I can see that wouldn't work.
I do that too sometimes, but the more I've been playing recently, it just kind of depends. I mean, I would say you're gonna go for the opportunity for the pair here, if that's what you're saying. But with a 3 and a 4 already, that you get sucked into. I could easily have another 4.
You could.
So, and I get a little bit too cavalier about those choices sometimes and throw away.
Well, making it 25 wouldn't be very good, but making it 24 doesn't help all that much either. So.
No. Okay.
Well, okay.
So I'm getting to turn a card over here.
Oops.
We've got a 1 with that, which helps me. So I see 15-2, and then we've got 15-4.
What's the turn card?
Ace
Queen. Oh, the turn card is an ace.
of diamonds.
So we've got 15-2, 15-4, and 4 are 8. And Till has, what do you have, Till?
I got a 15-2 and 3 is 5.
Yep. And a crib. Oh, look at that.
Wow.
All those 6s. Too bad you didn't put that 9 in there now, huh? Looks like 6 points.
Oh, goodness. Oh, Lordy.
Okay, I'm going to try to peg out before you get 2 points still. No, it's my deal, right? Ha-ha. Okay. Till, you've got another one of those hands.
Wow.
3 cards go together, 3 cards go
Jeez.
together. My crib.
Your crib. Well,
My crib.
That's
at
nice.
least your queen ace.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, you give the queen ace, and basically you've walked away from either chance of a double run. But it is more points in your pocket for sure. Because if you're hoping for the double run, either way, I mean, the only other choice would be to do like a queen jack, really.
Yeah.
And that's really only 5 points, right? And that's 6 points. So, depends on how much, but throwing queen ace into my crib is way better than a queen jack.
Mm-hmm.
The other thought is you're trying, at this point, you're not going to win. You're just trying to not get skunked. So one of the earlier comments was keep every pegging card you can. And pegging cards are generally little cards. So at that, having that be your choice, I might be more inclined to keep that and keep those just to try to get past the skunk hole. Does anybody else have comments on that one? So again, that's where you go to, sometimes your choices come down to where you are on the board as well.
Yeah.
So which one do you want to do, Till?
Yeah, I'll keep my 2-3 jack.
Okay. And for mine, thank goodness it's my crib, because this is one of those that would hurt you if it was your crib. Because obviously I need to keep my 3 7s and the 8.
Do you need
So
to go out?
thankfully, I'm sorry?
You only need 2 to go out?
3.
3? Yeah, I keep the
Yeah.
2 jack.
So I probably, under any circumstance, would throw the king 5 away from this, even if it was your crib, but it would
Yeah.
hurt. But I would not break this up ever. Well, my grandma would be mad at me, but there's really, I don't know how there's a way to break that up much. To throw the 8 away from it, I suppose.
There isn't a good way. I was just reasoning that we probably won't get to the crib, so, you know.
Possibly. Yeah, well, we can.
So
look
I
at
might
it.
want to keep the 5 in case I needed to make 15 or 21. But that's
Oh, I see
stretch.
what you're saying.
That's a stretch, though.
For pegging, again, for pegging purposes.
Again, for pegging, yeah.
Yeah, that's a good call.
But as close as you are, I don't think it matters.
It really doesn't matter, and he counts first, but it still really doesn't matter at this point. So
Yeah.
Okay, Till, would you lead the 3 or the 2 or the jack?
Jack.
Not sure I would make that choice at this point in the game, because you don't want me to have any chance of making any points right now, especially before you make points.
Mm-hmm.
So giving up that 2 to me just to get the potential 6 to you doesn't really do much for you. But 18, so I would have led with the 3 or the 2.
Yeah.
So 18 back to you.
I'll put it up to 28, Jack.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
which is a go.
That's a good.
And then you've got a 31 for 2.
Did I pass the skunk?
So you passed the skunk hole. Okay, then I would leave a 7, and you've got a 2. And then I've got 2 more 7s for a pair and a go, and that did it. So let's look at this crib really quick. Because I put that king 5 in there, that turned out to be an okay crib too.
Yeah.
15, 2, 15 for 2 or 6. No, 15, 2, 15, 4, 15, 6, 15, 8. 8 points there. Eight points there. You ended up with, in your hand, that was a pretty good turn card too,
What was it?
a 4.
15, 2, 15, 4, and a run of 3.
Mm-hmm.
And a pair.
And a pair.
15, 2, 15, 4, a pair for 6, and a run of 3 for 9. And one more, the right jack for 10.
Mm-hmm.
And mine, 4 does nothing for me. But I've got 2, 4, 6, and 6 or 12. Okay, so we got through an entire game. I'm happy with that. Does anybody have any questions?
Is there a historical reason for the jack? Why the jack is an important card?
It comes down from the original thing. It's called the Nadi, from the original Nadi game. And I'm not sure in the research that I've done so far how that came about, but somehow for it. So one of the things you get, one of the things you'll see, and that online game that I tried to show you, the cardgames.app/cribbage, you'll see it there. It'll say 2 points for his heels. So the old original knave naughty must have had shoes on. So you get 2 points because he's in heels. So you'll hear that 2 points for his heels, or 2 points for the knave naughty. And it just has to. I'm not sure why they came up with that, but if it comes up as the turn before the start, which I didn't turn before the start anytime. I was a little discombobulated, but that first card, if it comes up on the turn, whoever is dealing gets 2 points. And if you have the right jack in your hand, it's only 1 point. But yeah, that came down from the original naughty itself.
Okay.
Do you know of anyone who's playing naughty? Have you ever seen it played like at an event or something?
I've never
Sorry.
seen it, but that's okay. In my research, I just found that apparently in some of the pubs in Lancashire, you can still find people playing the old original naughty.
You had mentioned that earlier. I just wondered about here and now.
I have never seen anyone play it. It would seem it's a little bit faster because there's only 3 cards.
Sure.
And you're only going to 21. So I would think it's something that I actually was thinking about doing a naughty tournament with kids at one of my events, because that's a little bit easier, and you're not talking so much. You can start at least learning some of the games, like some of the parts of the game, like leading and the play back and forth, without having to, complicate it with all the cribbage thoughts as well, because that really takes it to that next level. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have not seen anyone play naughty itself. I did recently at one of our events, for the first time in my life, actually play 3-handed cribbage, where there was 3 people playing and the board had space for 3 people, and that was kind of interesting. I had not ever done that before. I'm a traditionalist, so I like the head-to-head.
So just an FYI, you have 9 minutes left for your class.
Okay. Does anyone else have any more questions at all?
No, that does it. Thank you very much for letting me come and visit.
Well, thank you for joining us from Caid. That's great.
You still have 9
Be here
minutes.
for you.
Just saying, you still have 9 minutes, so you don't have to go.
Okay.
Well, I look forward to reading.
I'm sorry?
I look forward to reading what you wrote.
Oh, well, mostly it's just an outline and some stuff that someone else wrote. So
that's okay.
But it is stuff that I found.
Can I ask a question about the board? Do you have a special board that you take to events, like a travel one that's more convenient than just a big block? I mean, do you have any preference for that kind of thing?
Well, one would think that would be smarter, and I don't, unfortunately. This is the one that I haul around. It actually has legs on it, so it's not quite
nice.
block. But this is the one I have from home, and it looks pretty rustic, and that's why I kind of use it at events. But I've seen everything under the sun at events. So, nobody's going to say anything if you have a modern cribbage board with you or anything like that. One of the most cool ones I've seen recently was a hand-drilled one on a big, huge set of antlers.
Yeah.
So that was really cool. It was like a whole half a rack, and actually had both sides on it. It was very, very, very cool. But you'll see, even down to the little travel ones that you can find in like Walgreens or something like that. So they're a little wood.
The little fold up. Yeah, I have a couple of those. Yeah.
Those are really nice. The one thing I don't like about this, I was just telling my husband, is we just use golf tees in it. And this one doesn't have a pocket. So most of them will have a pocket somewhere built into it to keep your pegs. So I have to, in fact, I just I just had to make myself some new red pegs this morning because I couldn't find the pegs that I had from the last time I held this to an event. So, yeah, so pegs are always something. I need to figure out a bag for this.
Oh, we're having show and tell, apparently.
Yeah. Oh,
look at
there's
that.
a nice one.
It
Nice.
is.
Look at that one.
Yes.
That was my dad's cribbage board, and so when he passed, I was like, I'm taking that.
Very cool. When I have taught this, I usually ask people to bring their cribbage boards with them so we can actually kind of talk about different styles.
Sure.
that
Which I've
you'll
never
see,
done yet.
How to read each board, because the general rule is going up the outside, coming down the inside, going up the outside, coming down the inside. That's the old standard rule where there's 60 pegs on a side. Some of the newer boards you'll see, or some of the ones that, like I said, they're shaped like a 29, you'll actually see it. You won't go up and down and up and down. You'll just start at one place and go all the way to the end.
Mm-hmm.
And then you know, some of them have the skunk and the double skunk lines on them. This is a very, very primitive.
This one is one.
On the handout that I have, there's one that's from, I think it's the 19th century, maybe 18th. And it's actually a combination wrist marker and knobby board, which is kind of cool. But yeah, they've been making this basic standard form of the board has never really changed.
My grandparents had a board with a checkers board that was drilled for cribbage.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
And it had both sets of 4. So my grandmother would play one side, and my grandfather would play the other.
Oh, cool.
Kelly, I want to see what you're trying to show us. It's pretty.
So Bjorn made this for auction. Then I got this in an auction. So it's got
Ooh.
got the skunk and the double skunk line, and then
and a pretty design there at the end. Yeah.
Yeah. So pretty cool.
I have one of the
That is
antler
really
ones,
cool.
but it's smaller than what you described. And then I have a lovely 3-handed one that a friend that we just taught to play cribbage and decided that he wanted to play 3-handed. None of us had ever heard of such a concept, but okay, why not? And he made it for me for my birthday with like a hand drill. Oh man, he worked on that.
That sounds really cool.
It's my most popular board.
Yeah, I would like to try to play 3-handed a few more times to see whether I like it or not. It was so foreign because I just had never done it, and I started playing from the time I could deal cards. My family was just addicted, so I played a lot.
Do you play partners then?
I have not ever really done partners either.
That's a whole different strategy.
I bet. Yeah. No, it's always been kind of, singular bragging rights in our family. And yeah, my grandmother was, and I really never realized until I joined the SCA and started playing it around other people again and playing tournaments and stuff, that I actually was taught pretty well, but she was just brutal about. She would throw away the best hand you could ever have just before she would give you a 5 in your crib, or give you, a good card in your crib. She would give up everything. And she taught me well. I say I do comment quite frequently. She's going to reach out of the ether and smack me, but I'm doing this anyway because this is what I need to do. And then oftentimes it burns me. I shouldn't have made that choice. So.
Yep. I was taught do what's best for your hand and don't look back.
Oh no, I was always taught you never give away points.
Yeah.
You even to your own detriment.
So
she was. Go ahead.
Go ahead. We're pretty much at the end of time, so I just wanted to thank you for your class. I really appreciate the information you provided, and thank you everybody for joining the class. If you haven't already signed the attendance and you care to, the link is in the chat. But I'm gonna shut this down in like a minute, and it'll clear everything once I do that. But I did record it.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming. It was enjoyable, and I hope you learned something. And if you ever want to play online or anything, message me, and we'll meet on this card games app. And good
I'll
luck
do that.
and good playing. And thank you, Sir Kelwin. That was very nice of you to serve as host for us.
How do you sign up for credit?
For the class?
Yeah.
So
in the chat box. Go ahead.
Yeah, so in the chat box, I put a link to the attendance sheet. I'm gonna just copy it right now, so it's right there up at the top in the very last message. Click on that. It'll take you to the worksheet in Google Docs, and you can sign up there.
Thank you.
All righty.
Okay. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Everyone have a good day. Stay safe.